All right, Chattanooga, I am back. I am here in the house. I'm on vacation. Well, this is the last few days of my vacation. I feel so amazingly, wonderfully, fantastically, just awesomely, amazingly great. And it's done me some good to get some time off. And I've been in Dallas, Texas with the most powerful, brilliant, sophisticated, whatever you want to call us, Black powerful women in the world, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And we had a magnificent time. Out of the 300,000 members of Alpha Kappa Alpha, there were over 20,000 of us that assembled together in Dallas, Texas, to work on an agenda for the country. And you all know that when Alpha Kappa Alpha does things, we do it right. And one of the things that one of our favorite phrases is this is a serious matter. And right now, where we are in our country, this is a serious matter. I see the polarization occurring, the left and right, and maybe there's a few folks in the middle, but we have a serious issue on our hand, and this is probably one of the most important elections that. Oh well, we got a little wild with that just a moment ago. Um, this is probably one of the most important elections of our lifetime, and so I'm here. I'm going to talk about the importance of voting. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. What I want you to do is I want you to study what's happening in America. I want you to study the history of America. If you don't have the books or the resources, Google is always available. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we have probably, this is probably one of the most serious elections of our lifetime. And I say that because there's so many issues that are on the table that could go all the way to the left or all the way to the right. And we cannot afford to let the democracy of this country that we were built upon, this country was built on freedom and democracy. And it's our moral obligation to ensure that this country remains a free world. And so there's some issues that we have to discuss, and we're going to discuss. But first, I got to get you to the poll. I understand that, well, yesterday was the first day of early vote, and I had a count from the Brainerd Rec Center today. It was only 100 this morning that have went to vote, which is sad. And I know it's going to get better. I know you all are not going to let us down. Us meaning our children, your parents, your grandparents, your loved ones, people who really need to have freedom. We need to protect the freedom. And so 100 people voting on the first day, it should have been lines wrapped around all of these early vote precincts. You don't have to wait till the last day to vote. You want to vote now. Many of the people who are up for election and they have to win the primary. So if you don't vote in the primary, it's a chance that your candidate will not be elected. So everybody, get out, go to the polls and vote. It's important. We fought for it. We died for it. There's so many serious issues. And I'm going to speak because I can. I'm a woman. And we have some issues that I'm really concerned about. Now, I don't believe in abortions, but I do believe that a woman should have the right to decide what happens to her body and that it's a private matter between her physician, her doctor, and herself. And so, whenever government steps in and starts trying to tell a woman what she can do with her body, we have overstepped our bounds as a government. And so, I personally don't believe in abortion, but I personally believe in a woman's right to decide what happens to her body. And I believe that that's something that the Lord Almighty and her would deal with, and also something that she herself will have to come to grips with in her position. There are some situations where women life is in jeopardy if they continue with a pregnancy, and her life is being put in danger if she continues with the pregnancy, and it's better for the mother to be to end the pregnancy for the sake of saving her life. And I'm always going to say that the person whose life is most important before a child is born, unless God decides, is the mother. It's the lady. Now that's me personally. You may have a wholly different opinion about that, but that's how I feel. In the case of rape, in the case of, like I said, health issues, well, the mother may die. Me personally, I was pregnant with triplets, and one of the babies did not make it, but it was a very high risk pregnancy. And I was down for a little while for the sake of determining whether or not this pregnancy was going to be so life threatening for me that it was going to be better to not have the babies. But it turns out, with all the professional help and all the things that I had to do, I was able to have William and Autumn, my twins. And so, but going through that pregnancy and knowing that my health was at risk was a scary situation, and I took the risk. But that was something I personally decided to do. And I could have died. I could have died. But and one baby did die. So we're not going to even dive into that, because I think that the ethical and moral decisions that we make in life is something between the individual and God. And I'm not going to try to tell you what to do. And I don't like the idea of other people telling me what to do when it comes to ethics and morals, because we all have some issues. If we search hard enough, even the pastors, even the ministers, we all, and I'm not going to talk about them, because that's morally wrong also. But I'm just going to say, if you search within yourself, none is perfect but God Almighty. And so all we can do is strive to be Christ-like. And that's what we do every day. Um, so my thing now, after coming back from our national convention, the Boule, is we all took the promise that we would come back to our community, and each one of us individually will take 4 or more to the polls in 2024. And I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to do better than that. People who have never voted, your power, your power is in the vote. If you feel powerless, don't feel powerless. You have power. You just don't execute it. And that's why I'm here today, to let you know how powerful that one little vote is, how far it will take you. You can speak to whatever subject you want to speak to in the ballot. And it's good to get educated before you go in. How do I vote? What's the purpose? Who do I vote? Why should I vote for this person? What does this person stand for? Maybe you can call that candidate and get a little bit more in-depth detail about what policies they're standing behind. Maybe you find out that this person is not going to stand for the things that is most important to you, and you don't vote for them. So I always say, when you go to the polls, don't go to the polls uneducated. Educate yourself first. Find out about each person that's on the ballot that's going to be in your district to vote for, and make an educated vote. Make an educated vote to the best of your ability, and ask your friends. Ask your friends, see if you all on the same page. But all the candidates that I know of, since I've been, I guess you would say, a voter, all the candidates welcome you to come and talk to them and to discuss, even one-on-one, how they can help you in your situation. So we have a lot of people that don't vote because they feel like it's irrelevant. It's not going to affect them. But people have lost elections on 2, 3, 4 votes. So how is it that your one vote doesn't make a difference when people can lose by 1, 2, 3, 4 votes? So every vote matters. Every single vote matters. And if you're not going to do it for yourself because you feel like it doesn't pertain to you, which it does, and I'll go into that in a minute, then do it for your babies. Do it for your grandbabies. Do it for all these children who are out here who can't vote, but they're looking up to you as an adult to go in the polls and vote for them because their future rides on who is going to be elected in office. We got things on the issue of issues other than women's rights. We have the voters' rights. That's on the table. So you like to go vote, but you have the rights to vote, but you don't vote. What if they take that vote privilege away from you? That's a privilege right now. That's a privilege right now. So if you get somebody in office that's not for voting rights, look how that's going to affect you. Look how that's going to affect me. Everybody in this room. So without picking and choosing for you who to vote for, I want you to study the candidates and learn who's for these rights, who's not for these rights. And then if you are on this side of the fence, go for it. If you're on the other side of the fence, go for it. But do go for something. Go and vote. Go and vote. But I will tell you, our democracy is on the brink of destruction. I'm telling you right now. And that's not just for black folks, that's for white folks too. Your democracy is on the brink of destruction. So you like to do this and you like to do that. Okay. Without saying anything more, you're at risk right now of losing all your rights. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. You are at the brink of losing all of your rights where you won't have the ability to pick and choose whether or not you want to go vote. So that's why it's important that you understand this election. With all the polarization that we're seeing in the media, this is probably one of the most important elections of your lifetime. Of your lifetime. And people are mounting up like wings of an eagle, going to the poll and voting because they believe that this is their one chance to turn the world around. But if we're going to turn the world around, let's turn it around for the good. That's what this country's built on. That's what this country's built on. Do we need control at the border? Sure we do. But it's going to be bad if Americans start swimming swimming away from America, trying to get to a better place to live because America becomes the worst place to live. That's all I'm saying. These people are swimming to what they think is a better life, to safety from maybe dictators and things of that nature. And so we don't want to see this country. We're so spoiled. I always say that this country is spoiled. We have so much freedom. You know, we go where we want to go. We eat what we want to eat. We can pretty much go to college and be what we want to be. Live where we want to live. But what if all that's taken away? Will you love America then? Will you love America then? We could control the border. We could do something about the border. In fact, we want people to come to America. We just want them to come legally. And I have 2 Hispanic employees that work for me. And I asked them, I said, well, what do you think about this border issue? Are you for people swimming across the water and coming into this country illegally, sneaking in, whatever you want to call it? They said no. They don't support that. They want them to come legally. And I said, well, okay, what's this about them coming illegally that you don't like about it? I know I don't support illegal people coming into the country, but I wanted to hear what they had to say. And they said, well, if they come in illegally, they don't have a social security number. They have no identity. We don't know that they're in here in this country. They can do all kinds of things, and we wouldn't know where to start to find them. And that's dangerous too. Think about somebody being in your house that you don't know nothing about, and they in your house, and you don't even know they're there. They can hurt you and get away with murder. They don't have a fingerprint. They weren't born or they've never lived in this country, but they're in your house. No identity. They can hurt you and get away with it. So I support allowing people to come to this country, but allow them to come the way that they should come. That's going through the paperwork and getting it done correctly. Now, I also support helping them to come in legally. So if we stop doing that, then who are we really? And one good thing we can do, because we have the power to do it, is make their countries better. Help make their countries better, so they're not fleeing to our country. So that's something that the lead or the country, NATO, all of those folks that help provide world peace at these peace summits should get together and figure out how we can make all these places where these people are running away from their own country for safety, how we can make it better for them so that we're not bombarded and overflooded with illegal people in our country. We have to do something about that. I'm in support of that. And so I'm going to reflect a little bit back on our national convention. It was beautiful. Our vice president, Kamala Harris, was our keynote speaker, and she's an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman. And it was just a beautiful thing to have her come and speak and talk about our country and where we're headed and the importance of making sure that we do our part in protecting the free world and what it would mean if this country took on a dictator or a person who's vowed to be a dictator on day one. What would that mean for this country? And I'm not telling anybody how to vote, you know, um, or telling you why it's important to vote for one person over the other. Because, you know, this is a radio station. And we have to be careful what we put over the airwaves. But we will be speaking on focus groups um, throughout this city and throughout this country and give people an opportunity to ask questions. Because I have so many friends on both the left and the right. But I will not support anybody on the left or the right who is not living the way they should live, who does not believe in free world, who does not believe in women's rights, who does not believe in voting rights, who does not have clear ethics and morals. I don't support anybody running this country. That's criminal. Been convicted. I don't support that. Now you can choose who you want to choose. But I just feel, this is me personal. This is not the opinion of WPTP Radio or Alton Park Development Corporation or any of those people that are affiliated with this radio station. I just feel that we have to be careful in choosing who our leaders are going to be for this country, because I depend on that. I like waking up in the morning feeling free. I like going to bed at night feeling free. I like the protection that we have, knowing that there's someone out there in the military, um, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and now I didn't know we had a new branch that's dealing with aerospace and marine life. That's only about 4 years old. We have a whole new branch of the military. And it was a beautiful thing to see all the people in Alpha Kappa Alpha, all the women who are serving or have served this country. Out of the 20,000 that were there in Dallas, Texas, I would say that 5,000 or more participated in the most beautiful ceremony. And I was so proud of that. I was so proud of that. We have people all over the world that are involved in different various organizations that have paved the way for us to have a free life and to live free and freedom, security. And we should not take advantage of that or take it for granted. So this is a serious matter. To only have 100 people to have voted as of this morning at one rec center is pathetic. So we're gonna be knocking on your doors. I'm gonna take my four more. I'm gonna take more in 2024 to the poll, and I'm gonna help get folks registered to vote. And the other thing is, if you have moved, it's very important to update your address so that the people at the election commission can put it in the system and you can go vote in the area that you're supposed to go. But now, if you early vote, it doesn't matter which one of these early voting sites you go to. Uh, Michael, if you could pull up on the screen, if you could find the early vote precincts, you can go to any of them. I know one is Brainerd Rec on Moore Road. I know one is Avondale Rec Center. I know there's one in Hickson. There's one in Soddy Daisy, but we're going to pull it up. You can go to any of these sites, and definitely the election commission is a site where you can go vote. Doesn't matter where you live. Say this: if you go to the poll, make that real big. Can we make that wider there? Well, they can see that because my eyes are bad. Can you make it a little bit bigger? Make it big. I can't see. You all might can see. Okay, so the election commission is one place at 700 River Terminal Road, and they opened starting yesterday, July the 12th, all the way through the 27th. This is early voting, Monday through Friday, 8 to 7, and on Saturday from 8 to 4. So you can even go on Saturday. If you some people say I work Monday through Friday and I can't get there, but they're open to 7 p.m. and then today on Saturday they're open to 4. And then you also can go to the Hickson Community Center at 5401 School Drive. And they're open also starting yesterday, July the 12th through the 27th. And they're open, it's very important, 10 to 6. 10 to 6. And we're going to leave this up for everybody because you might think it's open to 7 because of the election commission being open to 7. But at this site, they don't open till 10 Monday through Friday. So if you have a job that you have to be there early, this is not probably one of the ones you want to go to. And they're open till 6. And then on Saturdays from 10 to 4. So I'm expecting Saturday to be a blowout. You all should have lines wrapped around these places here. We can get up and go wherever we want to go when it's something we want to do. But let election time come up and we get amnesia about the importance of voting. Don't have amnesia. You have a moral obligation to go and vote. The other place is on Highway 58 at the Volunteer Fire Training Center, 9108 Snow Hill Road. That's in Ottawa. Also, July the 12th through the 27th. Those are going to be the same. This is early voting now. So if you all get confused on voter day because you don't know where to go, you can avoid that by voting early. It doesn't matter which one of these places you go to, you can go and vote. This is early voting time. Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. On Saturdays, 10 to 4. You can also go to Soddy Daisy Citizen Center at 190 Depot Street. And the hours are, like I said, July the 12th through the 27th, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4. And then also, I mentioned, I said Brainerd, but this is Chris L. Ramsey Senior Community Center. It's a rec center, and it's at 1010 Northmore Road. Same hours, same dates, 12th through the 27th, 10 in the morning to 6, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays, 10 to 4. And then Chestnut Hall at the Commons, 4750 Swinyard Drive in Collegedale, the 12th through the 27th of this month, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and on Saturday, 10 to 4. So it looks like all of the polling sites are open 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday, they open up 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, and on Saturdays, they're open from 10 to 4. So if you have a job, you can't get there, Saturday may be your day. And if you have to go in a little later and you can afford to go in at 8 o'clock in the morning, then the election commission site on Riverside, Riverside Drive is going to be your place to go. But my thing is, do go on River Terminal Road, 700 River Terminal Road. That's off Amnicola. So everybody knows where the Election Commission office is off Amnicola. That's where you want to go. If you need to go 8 to 7, it's open late on the weekday and it's open early on the weekday. And then, of course, all the hours, well, it's 8 to 4 on Saturday even. So you can go there early on Saturday too, 8 o'clock in the morning. So my thing is no excuse. Come on, people. There's no excuse. And I was talking to somebody. The people who need to vote the most, the people who need to vote the most are the ones that need the help the most. So it's very important, especially if you are receiving federal assistance and or you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you have children and grandchildren whose future is at stake. You know, you probably lived your life and about ready to go to retirement, but you got babies, you know, and it's bad when you have a young person to walk up to you like they did and said, I feel like I have less rights than my grandmother had because of all the laws that have changed that have taken the rights away. So you have young people who are losing their rights every day, every time a bill is passed. They're losing their rights. Right now, it ain't happening after the election. It's already happening. So when a young person say, I don't know what to do, I have less rights than my grandmother had, then that means we are losing it. And why are we losing that? I was telling the person who was my Uber driver, I said, if there's anything I can say about my children and children in my generation, parents, children in my generation, is that we want it so bad for our kids not to have to go through the things that we went through and our parents went through, that we got real crazy about protecting them, doing things for them, letting them taste success off of our success because we fought hard, our parents fought hard, and our parents fought hard so that we could go to any institution that we wanted to and get educated and get great jobs. They sacrificed for us so that we could have a better life. So we wanted nothing more for our children. We wanted them to have a better life. But the difference is that the things that our parents did to get us prepared for this mean world, we didn't do the same for our kids because all of these rights have been restored to Black folk in particular. I'm going to speak on that. We had received so many rights that we didn't have, that when we had our children in my generation, we didn't want our kids to feel the sting of poverty. We didn't want our kids to go to school and feel different than the other kids. So we didn't let their feet touch the ground. So I was telling the Uber driver, getting back to what I was about to say, is that our kids are spoiled. They spoil. The bottom of their feet don't have dirt on them because we've carried them so much. We picked them up. We didn't want them to feel hurt. We didn't want them to experience any hardship. So we carried them. We protected them from so much that we spoiled them. And the feet, the shoes don't have dirt on the bottom. But our feet and our shoes have holes in them because we've been carrying our kids and they don't. So that's one of the things that we're experiencing right now in this voting time. That you can't tell anybody in my generation that they need to vote. They know they need to vote. It's our children. They don't see the importance. That's because we have carried them. And they have not felt the sting of poverty. They may not have ever experienced racism to the extent that my generation and those before have experienced. So they don't understand it. But it's about to come back. It's about to roost its ugly head. If we don't get to the polls, if we don't take our children to the pole, whose bottom of shoe is still brand new. They ain't wore the leather out at all, but they still get a brand new pair, even though the shoes is not wore out. They getting brand new shoes. That may not even know the value of what it feels like to have to go to work and make money because we've given them money when they didn't have it. We made it easy for them at our expense. It's time to wake your children up. And now I'm going to talk about all families because it's not just black folk. Let me just say that again. It's not just black folks. We got some white folks that I know personally that are struggling just as bad. And their rights are at risk of being taken too. You talk about women's rights. It's an all-time high right now. When you talk about the southern states, all the southern states, excluding Virginia, one state, have banned abortion, irregardless whether it's rape, whether it's medical reasons. They banned it. And 40 states across the United States have banned it. Where do we stop? Thank you, Ruthie. Where do we stop? Where do we continue? Where do we hold our elected officials accountable? First of all, hold yourself accountable. If you're not going to the poll, if you're not taking your grandmama who's still alive and your great grandmama who's still alive to the poll, if they're not registered, start right now. Get them registered to vote. And then guess what else you got to do? Go pick them back up and take them to the poll and make sure they go in there and vote. It's not good enough to just get people registered. You got to go back, pick them up, and take them back to vote. So I'm asking all pastors in this community, don't matter. I don't care what church you belong. If you have a church van or bus, or there's people in your church that's willing to escort some folks to the poll, I'm going to be calling you all one by one as we get our thoughts together and organize it. We want these pastors involved. We want those church vans moving, and we want them picking up people. We coming to the projects. We coming everywhere. We going everywhere, especially in these communities where they are somewhat, I would say, less fortunate, may not have transportation. We coming to get you, pick you up, and take you to the polls. That is a challenge for all Alpha Kappa Alpha women. I know that for a fact. I just left our national convention. We're going to do our part, and I want to challenge the Divine Nine as a whole. Those are all, in case you don't know who the Divine Nine is, that's all the African American sororities and fraternities in the world. Together, there's over 1.5 million of us, college-trained, educated Black folk in this country that definitely have an effect on the voter outcome. But we have got to collaborate and work together to make it happen. And we're going to do, I know Alpha Kappa Alpha is going to do it. We must be, I believe, and I'm probably prejudiced in saying this, the first and the finest sorority of all. But there's many more that feel the same way. But I'm going to be prejudiced a little bit, and I'm going to say that Alpha Kappa Alpha is the number one. We are the first Greek alphabet, the first Greek organization to be formed in 1908. And our ideals and ethics and morals and our motto is supreme service to all mankind. That's our motto. To be of service to all mankind. It didn't say Black folks, it didn't say Hispanic, it didn't say white, it didn't say Indian, it said to all mankind. That's what we do. And we want to partner with Delta Sigma Theta, I'm going to say this, me personally. It may not, I can't speak for our bachelors, but me personally, as an Alpha Kappa Alpha Silver Life member, anybody that want to call me and say, Elenora or Dr. Woods, I want to work with you with your sorority. I'm gonna personally hook you up with our president, who I know, Latrice Curry, will have open arms because we've gotten our assignment. Delta Sigma Theta, Sigma Gamma Rho, Phi Beta Sigma. Um, who am I leaving out? Phi Beta Sigma, Sigma Gamma Rho. Who am I leaving out? I so many of them. Kappa Alpha Psi, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Omega Psi Phi. Uh, all of us. There's 9 of us. There's all of us together, working together collectively that can make a difference in this voting outcome. And we're going to start in Chattanooga, Hamilton County. We're going to do our part. And then the other cities and counties all over the country and even outside of this country, we're going to be working hard during this election. 4 or more to the poll, and you can't count yourself in there as a 4. And I'm going to go a little bit further. I want to get someone who's never voted before, who's not even registered. I want to get those people registered to vote. And if you want me to come to you personally, I will come to you personally. Sit down with you. Now you can register online. You can go to our website, WPTP1001FM.com. And all you got to do is push the button on your computer and follow the prompts. And you can get registered to vote. It's easy as a click, 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 click now. So we got the Divine Nines. There's Alpha Kappa Alpha right there on the top. That's my sorority. Keep on scrolling down. Alpha Kappa Alpha is number 1, formed in 1908, then followed by Delta Sigma Theta sorority, then followed on by, where's the blue? Come on down. Zeta Phi Beta, awesome women. Sigma Gamma Rho, awesome women. And then the men, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, and Phi Beta Sigma, and Iota Phi Theta. So I will proudly say that every one of those national presidents was at Alpha Kappa Alpha sororities convention in Dallas, Texas, and they all presented, I think, $10,000 or more dollars. Each individual fraternity and or sorority presented $10,000 or more for our EAF, which is our Educational Advancement Foundation, to further the advancement of education in our sorority, through our sorority. And we're all about scholarship and getting people trained and educated in our community. And so I want to thank all of them for coming to Dallas, Texas, and sharing and celebrating with us at our 71st Boule in Dallas. The next one will be in Las Vegas. I'll be there. But it was just mind blowing to be there and to learn all the things that was put in my head about what we should be doing and what we have already done, and also creating plans and programs to attack the very issues that are affecting African Americans in particular, and young women and girls also in our community, and what we have to do and what we have been doing since day one to make our lives better. And one thing we are going to do is we're going to dive deep into this election process, because, like I said, this is probably going to be the most important election cycle of your lifetime. Did y'all hear me? This is going to be one of the most important elections of your lifetime. If you have children that live with you that are 18 years old, I don't care if they're still in high school, if they're 18, you get them registered. If they'll be 18 by November and they're 17 now, you go ahead, you can get them registered to vote so that by 18, so when they turn 18 and the election is in November, they'll be ready to vote. So anybody that's out there, if you have children, your grandparents, your cousins and aunties, and all these folks that you know don't go to vote because they don't feel like it's important. It's important. It's important. If you're breathing right now, it's important for you to vote. I don't know where we get that from. I don't know where it come from, but it's killing us. That mentality is killing us. And we've got to stop that. It is important. People lost their lives. As I said, they shed blood. Black and white folks was on the battlefield fighting for us to get the right to vote and fighting for women to get the right to vote. I don't think people understand that women come in all colors. Women did not have the right to vote either. Remember? So you're talking about protecting those civil rights of all people. And this election could determine whether or not we continue to have the right to vote. Women, Roe versus Wade, that overturned decision that has taken women's rights away to decide what they can do with their body. It's happening, people. It's not like it's gonna happen. Oh, it'll never happen. It's already happened. Where have you been asleep? Wake up. It's already happened. It's already happened. So all we can do now is go to the polls and vote and make sure that no more damage. somebody said that our current president is too old. You even have some Democrats saying he's too old, he needs to step down. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay, vote for who you want to vote for, but stop it. Stop the name calling. Stop it. Because I can say just as much as bad about Biden as I can about former President Trump. They're both old, both of them. We knew that Biden was old when we elected him the first time. He ain't changed. He got older, 4 years older now. We knew that. Likewise, with Trump, we know he's got convicted felons on his record now. But we still got people that want him to be the president. We know that. So stop it. Stop the name calling. Just cut it out. Pick the person that you feel is going to have the best interest, your best interest at heart when they start making decisions. And remember, it's also about who you vote for at your local level, because that's who's going to go to Washington and make the decision on all these bills. And who your president is will determine who your Supreme Court justices will be. They'll have the right to pick and choose when someone retires or someone passes away. They get to pick and choose who's going to take their place. So you got to pick people who are going to represent you, not only at the local. People think about the president as the one. They'll go out and vote for the president, but they won't vote for the folks in their community. You better vote for your mayors, get the right person there, your city council people, your county commissioners, your state representatives, your representatives at the national level. You better vote for them too, because they're the ones that's going to determine what happened at home, okay? And they have more power to determine what happens in your life once they leave Chattanooga and go to Washington. They're going to be making decisions. So you've got to vote for everybody, not just the president of the United States, who basically, tell you the truth, don't have no power. You really don't know the power is at. The power is in your senators, your U.S. senators, your U.S. House of Representatives, your Congress people, and your state representatives. Because the power starts at the top and goes down to the bottom once they get there. But you have the right and the power right now to start at the local level and put the people you want in power, in power. But if you sit at home and do nothing, it's going to be your fault. It's going to be your fault. So we're going to help you. We're going to be knocking on your doors. We're going to be picking you up and taking you to the poll. So you have no excuse. You have no excuse. And when, okay, there it is. You go to our website, WPTP1001FM.com, and there's a register to vote online. You just click right there, and it'll take you through all the prompts on what to do. It's simple as 1, 2, 3, ABC. And if you can't read that well or can't write that well, you get somebody in your family that can and let them help you through that process. It's really simple. But we're going to be asking them to take that question off the ballot or the question off of the election page that have you ever been a convicted felon? Because that seems to be a big issue right now. If you can run for presidency and be a convicted felon, then you should be able to vote. You should be able to serve the military. Once you've done your time, you should be able to serve. You should be able to serve. You should be able to vote. And I know there's a process that you can get your rights restored. So that's where we want to also work. How do you get your rights restored if you are a convicted felon? You'll always be one, but you still could get your right restored to vote. So we want to take it off of there. Why should it even be there? If you served your time, why should you be taken through a long process to get your rights back? It should be automatically removed when you're free. You should not be held accountable the same way you were when you were in prison. When you come out and you serve your time, you should have your rights restored automatically. Automatically. It should happen on your release date. So here I am appealing to you right now. If you're not registered to vote, or you are registered, but you ain't voted in so long or never voted after you registered, just go online and do it over. It is not going to hurt to just do it over. Just do it over to make sure you're safe. Okay? It's better to know that you're registered than to think you're registered and find out you're not. So just go ahead and re-register and get yourself ready to vote. And if you need some help, you can always call. You can always text me, reach out to me through social media. We have a Facebook page. We have an email. What is our email? I don't know it by heart. Okay. It's info@WPTP1001FM.com at gmail.com. .com. You don't even have to put the Gmail in there. info@WPTP1001FM.com. If you'll just email us there, we'll get the message and we'll be able to help you with this process. I want to thank all the folk that came out on our grand opening for our historical, I call it historical, African American historical education and heritage museum. It was a hit. It was great. We have a beautiful museum, and I want to thank all the contributors, those who have their art on loan and some that have given their artwork for us to keep permanently on exhibit. I want to thank them. They have made us so proud. I want to thank Mr. Harold Bryson, who is our teacher for African history. Thank him for coming out and signing up people. You still can sign up to take those classes. In fact, we want you to sign up to take those classes. We just have so much to offer. On August the 15th, our local artist, Jerry Allen, whose artwork is on exhibit now, will be here from 5:30 to 7 o'clock to talk about his art pieces that he has on exhibit. A beautiful slave rendition, I would call it, of art. Is beautiful. that's on exhibit right now. He'll be there. You can also purchase some of his artwork if you'd like to, and just some amazing art pieces. Jerry Allen, thank you for putting your artwork on exhibit. We will also have every month um, artist work on exhibit and a exhibition for you to come out and talk with the artist. And if you purchase some artwork, you can purchase it that at that time. And that we're supporting local artists, but we also are supporting artists who are not maybe not so local. But we're definitely going to support our local artists. So if you're out there, you have some black art that you would like to put on exhibit and have an exhibition date, we want you to reach out to us so we can put you in the lineup to have your art put on display. And I would say kudos to all the other museums in the city who are doing a great job. Um, People ask me all the time, well, what's so different about the African American Education and Heritage Museum and the Betsy? And there's a huge difference. And so we want to say kudos to Betsy. Our museum is all about teaching Black history and educating the people about our heritage, and also giving Black artists an opportunity to have their artwork put on exhibit and to sell. And so we're supporting our local artists that way, but we're also educating the community and our tourists that come through on Black history. I want to thank Johnny Holloway, who is a major contributor to our museum. He has some major history. As you all know, he's I call it a huge civil rights activist in our time, and he's still alive. And we are very proud of the artifacts that he has presented and put on exhibit here. It's amazing stuff that he has that's on exhibit. I also want to thank Mr. Kofi, who has put on exhibits African drum from West Africa, Ghana. Uh, I want to thank him for contributing, and many other folk who have contributed, and also um, Miss Wilhelmina, who has, I'm sorry, Minister Wilhelmina Hogg, who has also contributed some African art and African artifacts to the museum. Just lovely stuff, just great stuff. We're excited about it. You gotta, I'm just not gonna give it all away. You have to come. The museum is free for children and adults. The price is $15, and all of the contributions go to continue to maintain the museum and to help us pay those who have to keep the museum up and operating. So if anyone wants to make a contribution to the museum, feel free to make a contribution. Just go out on our website. It's apdc98.org. That stands for Alton Park Development Corporation. APDC98, which is the year we were formed.org. APDC98.org. And you can donate there. All your contributions are tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we do give back to the community. So we want to thank you all that have given. We've gotten some very nice contributions that are helping us. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. And for all of our elected officials that are contributing, I want to say thank you to them as well, especially the Hamilton County election commissioners and the Hamilton County mayor. Thank you for coming out and being a part of that ribbon cutting ceremony. Um, Thank you to Commissioner Joe Graham for all that you are doing for this community and for helping and assisting Alton Park Development Corporation financially, and those who have contributed from that board. And we are going to be soliciting support also from Mayor Kelly and the wonderful people there, the election council people, to contribute to this amazing museum and this amazing organization that's giving back. This radio station, we could not be here if you all were not making contributions. And anybody that wants to come on, we've got some people that are running for office. I will say that you are welcome to come on the radio as long as we extend the invitation to your opponents. We do have several people who are going to be coming on the next week or two. to discuss their run for office. And we want to give everybody opportunity. I know that the judge positions, um, candidate Keisha Cheeks and candidate Judge McVeigh, they're running against each other for the seat. And both of them have expressed the desire to come on, and they are welcome, and the invitation is accepted. And I said that publicly, but you'll be getting also a confirmation in writing as we select a date for you all to come on. Anyone else that's running for office, I know several people that want to come on. We're going to also schedule a time for them to come on and discuss what they would like to talk about as far as what they stand for in this election, and give them an opportunity to actually talk to you and ask for your support. So we're gonna end this conversation. You all know how I end my show. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday, and that means that it's a great day to go to church. A great day to tell the Lord thank you for all of your blessings that He has bestowed upon you. And if you can't go to church, if you may not have the ability to go. Maybe you're, homebound or something. You can always go on the internet and watch church services right in your own bed, right in your own living room, right in the kitchen, whatever. You can go and serve the Lord on Sunday. And so I want to invite you all, if you don't have a church home, to come out to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, where Pastor Paul Warfield Jr. is our senior pastor, where we welcome you with open arms. And I want to thank you all for, like I said, for supporting us here. And also, I want to thank you all for giving us a blessing. You are a blessing to us. And I thank God for everything that He's done. And you all keep me in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers as I deal with some matters, health matters. Nothing alarming yet, but you all, when you get that phone call that says, we took your X-rays and we need you to come back in, we need to follow up and make sure everything is okay. You say, yeah, okay. So I've got to go back and have um, um, a test done. Uh, I had my mammogram done so that you all will know. And so I'm going back to have some more tests done to make sure that they're okay. And if not, guess what? I have so much faith and I don't fear anything. God has brought me through all kinds of things. I've weathered all kinds of storms, and He didn't bring me this far to leave me. So I'm going to have faith in God that whatever the outcome is, I'm going to get through it. And that's how I am. I have strong faith and belief in the Lord and what He can and will do. And I'm going to say, I'm healed already. He says, say it as if it's already happened. I am healed already, whatever it is. I haven't had another test done, but might get there, take another test, and they say, oh, it's nothing. Whatever. I'm ready for the challenge. And I just want you all to keep me in your prayers. Also, my little grandbabies will be starting school. They're 2 and 3, little Nairobi and Ravina. And this morning, before I came here, I went over to their school and we did a walkthrough, and they had a good time there. They got all kind of great stuff going at the Tree of Knowledge off of East Brainerd Road. Just a very beautiful school, very nice people. So you all keep my little grandbabies uh, in your prayer too as they enter school. So, and that's about it. I want to thank all the staff here at WPTP for doing a wonderful job. They're always here. They're always ready. I can call them anytime and, say, hey, do you think we can do X, Y, Z? And they always make it happen. Michael Slyman, Dr. Michael Slyman, and Robin Rose, you all two are the best. And I'll put you up against any radio station in the world with your talents and skills. And I just thank you for that. And then Alton Park Development Corporation Board, you all are amazing people. Thank you for all the work that you do for pushing Alton Park Development Corporation and spreading the word about our event hall, about our uh, everything that we have going on. We just thank you for the museum, um, our thrift store, Alpha Kappa Alpha. They are in the house. They have their own community suite out here. And it is beautiful. They're going to talk about when they're going to have their open house. Thank you for your wonderful leadership. Soror, I call her President, Madam President, Latrice Curry. for leading us, courageous women and strong women. Thank you for that, and your amazing group of board that working with you. Thank all of you. And I had a great time with you in Dallas, Texas. All the sorority sisters that were there from Pi Omega chapter here in Chattanooga. It was a great time spending with you all for a week. And I look forward to all the challenges that we have and all of the things that we have been given an assignment to do and fulfilling it. And I know that we will. We always have. And for all of you out there, God bless you. And I will see you next Saturday.